My name's Aisha Braganza, and I'm an author. And I'm here today. I have the privilege of telling you about this amazing woman, Noor Unissa Inayat Khan, aka the Royal Spy. So, who was Noor? Well, Noor was a World War II super spy, and she died in a German concentration camp on this day, the 13th of September 1944. We're in Gordon Square today because Noor lived nearby, it actually says on the statue, and she spent some quiet time in this garden. It's actually rumoured that she spent time with her brother looking for fairies in this very garden. There are three reasons why I passionately think we should remember this incredible woman. So the first reason is because she was a woman in a man's world. There were very, very, very few spies, super spies, who were women. And her name, Noor Unissa Inayat Khan, actually means light among women. And I certainly believe that she was and is and should be remembered as a light among women. The second reason I think we should remember her is because she basically upends what we think a spy should be. So, I mean, I certainly grew up with the idea that a spy should be James Bond, sort of white, sporty, courageous male who's fantastic with weapons and speeds about in things. Noor was none of these things. She was a small, she was a mixed heritage, and at spy school it actually said that she was scared of weapons. So that makes me laugh and thinks that there's sort of hope for all of us, maybe even to be a super spy. And so that's the second reason I think we should remember her. And the third reason is actually written on the statue on the other side. So I'm going to go and show you this. So the third reason I believe we should remember her is that she was passionate about her beliefs in freedom and liberty at any cost, and she gave her life for that. Regardless of anyone's race or religion, she believed in freedom, and she rose up against the Nazi occupation of France. And when she was shot on this day, 79 years ago, her last words at the Dachau concentration camp was "Liberté." So I'm here in Taverton Street, where Noor lived before the war. And as you can see behind me, there's a blue plaque which honours people who've done something remarkable. And she's the first woman of Asian origin to be honoured with a blue plaque. It's actually got her code name, her super spy code name, which is codename Madeleine, which is the name she used when she contacted other spies. Soon after Noor arrived in occupied France, her whole spy network went down. And I'm going to read you a little bit from The Royal Spy. When her bosses in London realised that Noor was on her own, they asked her to return immediately to Britain for her own safety. Bravely, she decided to stay. Noor managed to keep transmitting for over 3 months before she was captured. She did the work of 6 people. In order to keep Noor operating alone for such a long time, Noor used all her spy skills when sending messages to London. She was always on the move, never living in one place for too long. She hid her radio in lots of ways. She used shopping bags and even a baby's pram. Once, Noor moved to a flat in a building that she did not realise was full of Nazis. One night, Noor needed to send a message. She wanted to hang her radio antennae from a tree and was very surprised when a Nazi officer offered to help her hang it. Noor had to think very quickly. She told the officer that she wanted to listen to jazz music on the BBC radio. She confessed that although she knew radios were forbidden, she loved listening to jazz. The officer believed her and helped her hang the antennae on the tree before wishing her good night and leaving. She then transmitted her message to Britain right under the Nazis' noses. Even after she was captured, Noor didn't give up. She tried to escape twice. Immediately after her arrest, she was taken to a special building used by Nazis to question SOE agents. When Noor arrived there, she asked to use the toilet. The bathroom door was left open with a brick to stop prisoners from escaping. Noor charmed the guard into removing the brick to let her use the bathroom in private. She then escaped through the bathroom window and walked along the guttering on the outside of the building, but she was on the 5th floor, and despite her bold attempt, the guards soon discovered her. Noor still didn't give up. When she heard another prisoner in the cell next door, she made contact by tapping out Morse code on her cell wall. She and the other prisoner decided to try and escape. They managed to steal a screwdriver and loosen the windows in each of their cells. Noor, I love this, she even demanded face powder from her guard, and then she used the face powder to cover the holes around the windows. In the dead of night, the prisoners climbed out of their windows onto the roof. But unfortunately, there was an air raid warning, and because there was an air raid warning, this meant that all the guards checked on all the prisoners. It's so unfortunate. She would have escaped otherwise. Desperately, the prisoners climbed down from the roof using knotted bed sheets. Noor kicked in the glass window of one of the rooms in the story below and ran down the stairs. And unfortunately, the soldiers were already waiting outside the building, and immediately Noor was captured once more. So Noor was an incredibly accomplished person. Besides being a super spy, she played the veena, which is like an Indian classical instrument, like a lute. She was also a published children's author. But very precious to her was her Sufism, which is a kind of mystical Islamic practice. And it was this that informed her passion for believing in freedom for all, regardless of race or religion. And that was an ideal that she was prepared to die for.